I thought for a long time before creating this script and video, as Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations nearly 2 millennia ago, quote, "Love the hand that fate deals you and play it as your own," end quote. These meditations were a set of notes intended only for Aurelius himself, or, to quote Harvard professor William James from nearly a century ago, quote, "The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook," end quote. James is sometimes called, quote, "the father of American psychology," end quote, for his important role in shaping psychology. James was a pragmatist who wrote about religious psychology, mysticism, and, of course, pragmatism. He helped establish psychology as a formal discipline. Nearly every time I am asked to submit to an interview, which is now a rare occurrence since a coordinated defamation campaign essentially destroyed my reputation under the first Trump administration, I am asked about this issue. I receive more than 200 email messages each day, and this question is occasionally included, usually as a statement rather than a question. I thought you were forced out of your professor position. The questioning form of this statement: weren't you asked to leave the university? No, I was not. I strongly suspect my last school director was charged with making my life miserable enough that I would leave. She failed. I left for another reason I will explain here. First, though, I will explain the structure of the university. At the time, I was a professor in one of 2 schools in the College of Agricultural Sciences at the University of Arizona. The schools were recognized upon their creation as taking a broader scope than departments. The School of Natural Resources, subsequently renamed the School of Natural Resources and the Environment, no doubt at great expense to taxpayers, was created in December 1970. From that time until I was recruited into the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, exactly 0 faculty members had joint appointments in the 2 programs. I was recruited into the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology because 2 graduate students wanted me to serve on their graduate advisory committees. The process of being admitted into the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology matched that of being hired. I was interviewed by most faculty members in the department and also by many graduate students. I delivered a presentation to illustrate how my research and teaching would contribute to the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. After this grueling process was completed, the faculty in the department voted on my admittance. After the process was completed, I became the first and only faculty member to date of the School of Natural Resources and the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. Because of my new standing, I was able to serve on the graduate advisory committee of the 2 graduate students who started the process. One of them is now a professor. The other is still the assistant director of research in the United States Forest Service, at least until she was subjected to the Doge treatment. These are revered positions. I'm not claiming credit for helping them land these 2 positions, but I at least didn't interfere with their scholarly process. Way back when I was married, my wife and I agreed that when one of 3 criteria were met, we would leave campus life and move to the off-grid homestead I created in rural southern New Mexico. Bear in mind that, at the time, I knew nothing about the aerosol masking effect, the best-kept secret in climate science. Among the criteria we considered was the failure of one of the 3 banks in which we had money. We used 3 banks, 2 large ones and a small regional bank headquartered near the off-grid homestead. One of these 3 banks, Wachovia, failed on December 31st, 2008. I gave notice shortly thereafter and left active service at the university on May 1st, 2009, 20 years to the day after I was hired. As when I was hired, I selected the day that celebrates workers, the 1st of May. I returned to campus periodically to ensure my graduate advisees had proper intellectual support and infrastructure to complete their tasks. Meanwhile, I was busy with the off-grid homestead. There was a lot of construction to complete, and I had to learn how to grow food. When I began these tasks, I could barely distinguish a zucchini from a screwdriver. I had a lot of work to do. My physical labor included abundant construction, designing and building a water delivery system, and growing food. My customary weight of 181.5 pounds, plus or minus a pound, had dropped to 166 pounds. That's from about 83 kilograms to about 66 kilograms. I was conducting physical labor from early morning until it was too dark to see at night. I was also interacting with neighbors, ensuring that I would be a positive part of my human community. So far, so good. I knew all my neighbors. The projects of growing food and rough carpentry were going well. I attended the weekly potluck dinner and usually contributed the most important meal of the day, dessert. There was only one problem. My ex became my ex. Rather than giving notice at her place of employment, she stayed on the job. I was alone for the next 3 years and 4 months. Because I was busily creating the homestead, I rarely made the 3.5-hour drive from the homestead to Tucson. She made the trip even less frequently, opting to make money instead of companionship with her new neighbors. My point, and I do have one, is this. The next time you think about someone's position in life, please don't assume the worst. Accumulate relevant facts, perhaps even from the person you are judging, before you reach conclusions. Life is tough enough for all of us. We all have difficulty creating and maintaining friendships and earning enough money to have positive lives. Rather than judging people you know, along with those you don't, perhaps you can focus on creating positivity. A popular expression comes to mind. Life's a bitch, and then you die. You need not add to the difficulty of others' experience. I remind you that Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations nearly 2 millennia ago, quote, "Love the hand that fate deals you, and play it as your own," end quote. Or, as I said many years ago, pressum diem, squeeze the day.